from being the leader in any situation, being a strong, grounded, present, and charismatic leader. And so the solution, and that was the slide that I didn't want in there. The solution is this 5-step process. This 5-step process I teach to keynote speakers, I teach to law firms, I teach to sales teams, I teach to really anyone and everyone who will listen. Hello, are you here for public speaking playful practice? I think you are. This is a yes and environment, gentlemen. We've all been moved around. I apologize. I should have asked what was in here and was going to be moved. 16, there you go. All right, so the 5-step star power energy formula. If you want charisma, if you want to command a room, these are the 5 steps. And it's about owning your energy. Step 1, own your breath. Own your breath. You'll notice, who's been watching the news in the past week? No, really? Oh man, it's pretty engaging actually. Well, if you'll notice, my boyfriend asked me this today. He said, how do you get rid of ums and fillers and all those words in your speech? And I said, let's rewatch what we just watched on TV. You'll notice that the newscasters take a breath over and over in order to not use filler words. When we're using filler words, it's because we're afraid of the silence. So instead of using or so, take a breath. Own your breath, and you will own the room. Own the breath, and you will calm your nervous system down. And the person with the calmest nervous system wins. The person who gets heated and angry in a negotiation loses immediately. Immediately. Learn your poker face, own your breath. Step 2, own your mind. What is mindset? Anybody? What is mindset? Anybody here do mindset work? Anybody meditate? Who here meditates? Let me ask that question. Okay, great. Any Joe Dispenza style fans? Yeah, I had a feeling. We're in Austin. Own your mind. Learn your mind. Begin to notice the thoughts that come into your mind and out of your mind. And I do this by guided meditations that I do live with people, or I have guided meditations online. Step 3 is own your words, and this is the title of my book coming out in 2025. Own your words. Own the words that you say, because the words that you say affect the reality that you see. Who here's heard of the law of attraction? Right? Yeah? Do you know the neuroscience behind the law of attraction? No? All right, well, we have a data filter in our mind called the reticular activating system. It is the filter that filters everything in and everything out, and our words are in charge of what is filtered in and what is filtered out. For example, it's the red truck theory. Have you heard of a lot of people have heard of the red truck theory. As soon as you want to buy a red truck, all of a sudden you see red trucks all over town. For me, it was the Honda Element. I decided I wanted the Honda Element. It was my dream car since I was 16. The seats go up on the side, and you can lie in there, and you can even build it out to be a camper, and it's so cool and such a gas guzzler, but I loved it and wanted it, and so I started seeing it everywhere. I started seeing it everywhere. I started seeing it online. I started seeing Honda dealerships. And all of a sudden I started meeting people that had Honda Elements. And so my inner algorithm was trained for the Honda Element. Your words work the same way. Your words work the same way. When we use words like I can't, or I don't, or I suck, or I'm terrible at this, that is what your algorithm is going to continue to see. I'll break all of that down in my book that will be coming out in 2025. And today what we're going to be focusing on, and this is what I'm known for in this town, is own your voice. Through musical tonality. Learn how to use your voice to be an engaging speaker. Learn how to use your voice to build nervous system resilience, because guess what? Your voice is the original Xanax. When we speak, when we sing, we stimulate our rest and digest nerve in our body. That's why it feels so good to be fully self-expressed. It actually stimulates the longest nerve in our body. So today we're going to be doing a bit more of Own Your Voice. That is the foundation of this class, and we'll put that into practice. And then finally, own your story. Know what stories you tell. Build your story bank. Have a list of stories that you can pull out of your pocket at any point in time. What's your name, my friend? Shreejan? Shreejan told me, can I tell them what you just told me? He, quote, bombed a presentation this week. He stuttered for 5 seconds. That was his version of bombing, right? We're all our worst inner critic. Well, he told me that story and immediately it went to one of my favorite stories to tell. When I was 16 years old, I played Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd. Now, I've been on hundreds of stages in my lifetime. Like I said, I've been in musical theater performing over and 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 over again my entire life until I became, I don't know why that did that, until I became a coach and started talking about the power of storytelling and musical theater and stage to make you all better speakers and better business people and make more money, right? Which is probably what you're all here to do in the end. Everybody wants two things, money or sex. So which one is it? Charisma will get you both. And I was on stage. I was 16 years old. I was playing this ridiculous character named Mrs. Lovett. And in the show, bye Grant, good to see you. And in the show, she is in charge of, Sweeney Todd kills people. He slits their throats, and then she puts them into her meat pies. A very dark show for a 16-year-old. It's hard enough to be a teenager, right? Well, we're in the state competition. We're getting ready to perform for 2,600 people, 2 shows. It's our spring break. We didn't get a spring break. We're just there, day in, day out, rehearsing for this massive play festival. We have this trial rehearsal in front of 900 people with an invited audience. There's 900 people in the audience. I'm 16. I haven't slept. I'm wearing this ridiculous dress with this ridiculous makeup. There's baby powder everywhere because that's part of my set of pretend flower. And we have these turntables that we come out on, and I have a harmonium piano made out of this crappy wood, and I'm turning the tables to come on stage, and the harmonium gets stuck. It gets stuck in the turntable, and I'm exhausted. And I'm a teenager. And so what do? I kick the thing. And it falls over, and I start laughing. I start laughing so hard I couldn't stop. 900 people in the audience start laughing with me. Laughing until finally I say, it's been a long day, dearie. And my co-star looks at me with the worst face on going, how dare you? And what do? Finally calm myself to breathe. And I'm so embarrassed. This story of me breaking on stage lasted so long that people told it at my 10-year high school reunion last year. But what did I do? I kept going. I got back on stage and I tried again. I even went to school for it. I even was a cruise singer and a cruise performer and in off-Broadway shows and on national tours. I didn't let that one experience of messing up in front of 900 people keep me from getting back on stage again. I've told that story over and over again. That is in my story bank. So own your story. Have a list of stories that you can pull out at any point in time that you can have for different scenarios. So, own your breath, own your mind, own your words, own your voice, and own your story. The 5-step star power energy formula. And we're going to be playing with Own Your Voice today, which to me is the most important one. But before we get there, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
It looks like an interesting thing. It was on our Launchpad Meetup calendar, and it will, I'm hoping, come for a job search activity with the Texas unemployment thing.
Okay, you're looking for another job, and it looks interesting.
Yeah, and I belong in...
The theater?
Yeah, I belong there.
It doesn't, that's why I left. That's fair. Okay, why else? Why else are you guys here? Somebody said that they're here because they want to be a political figure. Did that guy show up? He messaged me directly. No? Okay. Who else? Why are you here? I know you're here for pitching. Why are you here?
My biggest help was using I can't remember the word, but speaking louder and more clearly, enunciating.
Perfect. Speaking clearly, communicating. This is what's the number one thing that you can get out of today? My friend in the sweatshirt in the back.
Me personally?
Yes.
I don't know. Honestly, any golden
Perfect. I love a good golden nugget. Here's a golden nugget. You don't get paid for what you know. You get paid for what you communicate. You don't get paid for what you know, you get paid for what you communicate. You don't get paid because you have an amazing solution to a problem of these investors. You get paid because you've communicated that problem and your solution, correct? Right? Marketing. You don't get paid for what you know, you get paid for marketing your product really well. You get paid to communicate. And how do you want to feel when you leave the room? One person, just yell it out.
Confident.
Confident. Love it. Easy enough. Easy enough. So the voice framework, I'll keep this up for you guys throughout. We're about to get up in a minute. So the voice framework that we're going through, this is what I teach every single class, is called the 5 tonalities of the voice. Your voice is the bridge between what's happening in your mind and what the person in front of you is receiving. What you say does matter, how you say it matters more, and how your audience receives it matters the most. What you say matters, how you say it matters more, and how your audience receives it matters the most. Okay? So here's 5 tonalities, kind of 6, but 5 tonalities that you can use, that we're going to practice now, that you can use in any situation. Does anybody here know 5 elements? 5-element theory, Chinese medicine? Yes, okay. We're in Austin. There's a lot of people who are in the woo-woo world, although Eastern medicine is not woo-woo at all. It is amazing and well-practiced. Traditional Chinese medicine, 5-element theory. We have earth, air, water, fire, and ether. But instead of ether, we're using metal for this one. And I'm going to demonstrate each one of these. And this is practical. This is something that you can take with you today and go use with your partner, with your kids, tomorrow at work or at school. Okay, I want you to leave here having a transformation, because if I never see you again, I want you to go, man, that was the best public speaking class I've ever been to. Earth. Earth is what we use when we want to command authority. Earth is what we're going to use when we set boundaries. Earth is what my lawyers use when they're dealing with a difficult judge. Earth is what I use when my partner is on one of his rants. Earth. Hope he never sees that. And next we have air. Air. Air is very light. Air might be thought of as an airhead. Air, somebody who speaks in air is going to be spoken over a lot. Air is what we think of as like a traditional receptionist, right? Air. And then men who have air are kind of down here. They still have this lightness. There's a lot of breath, but they're not necessarily as high. And then we have water. Water is what we're going to use for mediation. Water is what I use when I guide people into guided meditations or a hypnosis. Water is going to be what you use as a yoga teacher. Water is what a lot of engineers use, which is why their presentations are so boring. The problem with water is it puts us to sleep on purpose. All of these sounds are creating a psychological effect in your mind. Once again, it's how I say it, but it's also how you receive it and what you receive. The dark side of water is that it's slightly condescending. And then we have fire. And fire is what we're using when we motivate people. Fire is what we're using when we're excited about something that we're doing. The dark side of fire is also going to be anger. I often say to people, do not fight fire with fire. If someone's giving you a lot of fire, you're going to use water or earth in order to combat them, in order to placate them, calm them down. They'll have no idea what you're doing, but it'll work. They'll be like, I don't know what's going on here, but my anger is not making you angry, and I really wanted to just get everybody emotionally drawn up right now. And then finally, we have metal. Metal is what we're going to use if this microphone goes out. If my microphone was going to stop working, I'm going to use metal, because metal is going to take the sound waves further. Your voice is a vibration. Everything is energy. Your voice is sound energy. So when we use our voice in these different ways, we are using physics to create a psychological effect on our audience. And this is just a simple framework to do it. Any questions? Anybody who wants to fight me on this? There's always one. There's always one. There's a lot of people who are a lot smarter than me come into this room and have things to say, and I love it. It makes me a better teacher. Cool. All right, well, you're all going to get up and do it now. So come on, get over here. Get up and you're going to be in a circle with me. If you didn't want audience participation, then you shouldn't have gone on to Meetup.
Have you been to this class before? Where are you from?
Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine.
All right, my friends. Hello. Welcome to the circle of whatever this is going to be. All right.
Spiritual.
Of what?
Spiritual.
It's a spirit. Sure. I try to keep that out of it. It's like the underlying current without me needing to say, yes, these are deeply spiritual practices, and my life's work is surrounded by getting people singing again. But that's not what I'm talking about at the front, because that doesn't pay the bills, as we say. All right. Is everybody okay with using your voice? We're going to do a little bit of a call and response, okay? Sound good? Does anybody feel a little weird? A lot weird? It's weirder in this room. It's more fun downstairs in Voltron, I swear. Okay, cool. All right. Repeat after me. Woo! Woo! Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Woo! Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Make a scrunchy face. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Hey! Hey! Pick a point across the circle and send your voice to it. Hey! Hey! There you go. Hey! Hey! Awesome. So much power without necessarily needing as much volume. Woo! Woo! Hello! Hello! Hi! 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 Whoa! Whoa! Hello! Hello! No! No! Boundaries! Boundaries! I am here! I'm here! I am earth! I am earth! I am air! I am air! I am water! I am water! I am water! I am water! Nice. I am fire! I am fire! Once again, send that sound to a specific point. Your voice is a vibration and you can decide where it goes. I am fire! I am fire! Cool. I am metal! I am metal! I am metal! I am metal! Yodelay-hee-hoo! 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 Cool. Better, better, better. It's often hard to get into your nose in that way. You'll notice if New Yorkers, yodelers, people who live in mountainous towns have more of that nasal sound. And so, one of my theories around that is because they have to shout over loud places.
I have a question. Why is metal the sound that travels further and not fire? Like you said, like if you don't have a microphone, why metal and not fire?
We need the whiteboard to this stuff.
No, that's great. Great question. Metal's just going to be more efficient. So fire, you will use a combination of fire and metal. This is all a framework that's going to be different person to person to person. Every voice is different. Every voice comes with a different body shape. Your voice is a full body experience. Your voice is a full body experience. Your entire body and aura are all resonators for the sound that comes out of your voice box. So your fingers play a role in how your voice sounds. So my normal talking voice is fire, right? If I give more fire, that's a lot. But if I give more metal over a longer period of time, I'm going to be sending the sound waves out my nose, which is going to be more effective and efficient for a longer period of time, rather than just trying to yell it out through my throat for a longer period of time. So we're also aiming for, I work with a lot of people who are speaking for hours and hours and hours. How do you keep your voice? A trial lawyer, they're in trial for 2 weeks. They lose their voice by day 14. They are no longer in authority for their closing argument. So how are they going to keep that sound? They send it out through their nose. It's actually the trick for how you sing amazingly too. Sending sound through your nose is how you sing. Like I was a Barbra Streisand impersonator for a year, and mask. And so it's actually the key for being a great singer. I can get into that a whole, part of how I realized that was I was studying gospel singers. I just fell in love, I was like, why are gospel singers the perfect voice? So there's a few reasons for that.
I've never thought about speaking through a nose. Like, blows my mind.
Yeah, so now you're gonna go, it's funny, right? We're watching so much news right now at home. News and all kinds of things, and every minute my boyfriend goes, why is her voice annoying? Can you break it down for me? And I'm like, this is what you're hearing. You're hearing that she's really nasal, her vowels are flat, and her consonants are really short. So it's just making you go like this every time she like hits a K or something. So you start to pay attention to how people speak. What are their consonants like? What are their vowels like? What is the general color of their voice? And these 5 elements are going to give you that color. Okay, cool. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
It's going to be different for each person, right? Also, when I work with a lot of introverts, I'm not going to give them fire. Because here's the thing, there's also a lot of trauma wrapped up in your voice. There's a lot of trauma wrapped up in the voice. There's a lot of trauma wrapped up in how men should speak and how women should speak, and about whether your voice is important or not, about religious trauma in the voice. That's why I have several trauma-informed certifications as well, because it's such a huge part of freeing our voice. Freeing our voice. Okay, we're getting into it. Tap dancing. It's always weird up here because we're not on a stage and it's a different environment. So, in musical theater, the concept of musical theater is not, we just start singing out of nowhere. That's bad musical theater. Has anybody here never seen a musical theater show or movie? Never, ever? None of them? Not even like High School Musical?
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Sure, Disney movies, right? Even cartoon movies, right? Those are musicals. So a bad movie, a bad musical, they just start singing. A good musical, the character has so much emotion that while they're speaking that all of a sudden they just have to sing, because singing is all that they can do, because their emotion builds so much. And then when that emotion builds and builds and builds while singing, then what do they do next? Dance. So when I was in college, I also got a minor in religious studies, and I studied why all of these cultures all around the world practice performance as a ritual, and ritual as a performance. What is the intersection of those two? And at that point, I only had questions, but when I started to get into the psychology world, and somatic psychology, and nervous system regulation, I learned that when we sing together in community, we heal our nervous systems together. So for generations and generations and generations, we've sat around a campfire, and we sing together to expel the trauma of the wars and the famine and all the BS that happens when, your food isn't delivered to you by Uber, right? And so that's what happens. We sing together into community. We are literally activating our rest and digest nerve in our body. So our voice is wrapped up in so much of who we are as humans, as primal beings, as self-healers, if you will. That's why I call the voice the original Xanax, which is just, a fun little line to use. Little gold nugget, if you will. And so if I were to take an introvert, which I have many introverts who come to this class, and say, use your fire voice, get really loud, they would break down and cry. It would be overwhelming. Because inside, that person's head is going, children should be seen and not heard. Is going, Hispanic girls are too loud. Or is hearing in their head, all the people who've said, shush, be quiet, your voice doesn't matter. So if all of a sudden I was like, all right, use your fire voice by yourself in front of everyone, that would be overwhelming. What's a little less overwhelming is starting to use your metal voice. And to make it a little bit silly and make it a little bit fun, but you are being a little bit louder and taking up just a bit more space. So that is the strategy and the tool of using metal versus fire. Yes, fire will take up more space in some ways. It's just more of different colors you can use. Cool, I got some fun stories in there with that. Great question. Great question. Anybody else? Any other questions? Cool. So typically, and this is what we're going to do next, because now everybody's going to get one time on this red carpet by yourself. Here's how we do it. Rather than bring in all these extra side things, you're going to get 1 minute to tell us about your breakfast. You're going to tell us about your breakfast, and your goal is to own the room. I'm going to ask you to focus on one thing that you will deem as successful. One thing. You get to decide what success looks like. When I used to go on 4 auditions for Broadway a day, I was not getting Broadway shows at 4 auditions a day. It wasn't happening at 21 years old, so I had to find another way to decide, was this audition successful? Because there's so much that's out of my control. Okay, my success, when I know this is successful is you all had a moment. There's this moment that happens and everyone looks at me and is like, oh, I have everyone's attention. That's how I know it's been a successful class. That you're all bought in. You're bought in on what it is that I'm teaching. Because I know it's weird, it's different. It's not what you're hearing in Toastmasters, right? So what is successful for you? Is it that your mind was present during it? Is it that your voice was engaging? Is it that your body was engaging? Is it that you kept your feet planted? If my version of success was that I stayed planted, then I would not have had a successful day, a successful presentation, because I like to walk all around, I like to dance a little bit while I'm on stage, because it's how I decide to live my life, right? Now, if you are presenting in front of investors, I wouldn't suggest me to have because they're walking around, right? But it's a different thing. So you decide what success looks like for you. That's your one goal. It's really, really important. Because if I give you this microphone and you walk up here and then I say to you, okay, how'd that go for you? And you say, I sucked. Well, how do we go, where do we go from there? How do I help you be better? How do I help you take that next step in your speaking today? Okay? So pick one goal, and then I'll have you play with the 5 elements to take the next step. All right? Any questions? 1 minute, and you're talking about your breakfast. All right, everyone go sit down, be great audience members. Cool. Curtain. Off, so don't show off.
My friend said he wanted to get through. I did not say that, but I will.
I think you did. Sounds good. All right. You're a great friend.
Could you demonstrate? Oh, he's going to.
All right, so I'm going to time it. You've got 1 minute, and talk about your breakfast. I'm going to hold my hand up for you to have 5 seconds left.
Okay.
So when I hold my hand up, land the plane. This is a really great moment to learn. What happens is we start to go, oh, I need to tell one more story. I need to tell one more story. Leave us wanting more and land the plane. Okay? All right, your time to shine, my friend.
All right, so I actually didn't have breakfast this morning. I actually had a coffee. And that's usually my everyday routine in the morning, not having breakfast, just having coffee. It kind of suppresses my appetite, and it kind of gets my day started off going with a lot of energy. I will say this summer, it was an unhealthy habit of having almost 2 cups of coffee every single morning because I was doing an internship. But I realized now saying this out loud is kind of an unhealthy habit. And I know last year, my breakfast, my roommates know I would eat eggs and turkey bacon almost every single day. We had a funny conversation about me cleaning up the microwave the other day last year. But yeah, so I didn't really have breakfast this morning, but having a coffee, I think really saying this out loud, I should know I should start having breakfast, like a healthier breakfast. I always talk to my dad about eating more fruits and vegetables, maybe eggs, and like having oatmeal in the morning. So I think those are some few healthy habits that I can start incorporating to improve my morning habit. Thank you.
What was your goal?
My goal was to not blank and have like something to say instead of like pausing for too long.
Cool. So continuous consciousness.
Yeah.
Is that your goal?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Did you succeed?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you did succeed at that. Great. Another thing he did really well was say thank you at the end. I didn't mention that. Really important. No matter what you do, say thank you at the end. It just looks good. I've seen so many presentations. The best ones always end in thank you. So great job with that. What would you improve on next time?
Having better body language. I noticed like I cross my arms for a second.
Great.
Which isn't too serious, but it can be improved, yeah.
The other part of Earth that I didn't mention that we hear a lot of the time is mud. A lot of men and even girls have this feeling where we sink down into our vocal cords, like vocal fry. So you fell into that a few times. So I would love for you to take 10 seconds and start again. And this time, I want you to use fire.
Okay.
Yep.
Get excited. Get hyped.
All right, this morning I actually didn't have breakfast. I just had a cup of coffee. But saying this out loud makes me realize I should have fruits and vegetables or oatmeal in the morning. That's a lot smarter idea.
Okay, cool. You're gonna do one more time. This will be a small group, because why not? So you're gonna do fire, and then you're gonna do water. And the reason why is I'm gonna have you play with dynamics.
Okay.
Okay? Actually, let's do it this way. Are you down to sing with me?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Cool, cool. And this is called musical tonality. This is my trademark method, is we're gonna sing it to speak it.
Yeah.
This morning I had coffee.
This morning I had coffee.
Did it to the microphone. Great man. Cool. This morning I had coffee.
This morning I had coffee.
Okay, notice the difference. This morning I had coffee.
This morning I had coffee.
Put your name into it. This morning I had coffee.
This morning I had coffee.
Now speak it. This morning I had coffee.
This morning I had coffee.
Okay, notice the second time you spoke it.
Yeah.
You went, this morning I had coffee.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get you to do is go up at the end of your sentence
Okay.
a little bit more. Not necessarily for it to be a hard, fast rule,
Yeah.
but to just bring more play
Got it.
into your voice, all right?
Yeah.
This morning I had coffee.
This morning I had coffee.
Thanks for playing. Okay, great job. Do you guys see what we were going for there? Yeah. Great job. Great job.
Great job. You are not monotone, but I work with a lot of people who are monotone, who stay in one place for a long period of time. And how do we get them out of this monotone sound? Well, we sing it up and down, and we keep singing, and all of a sudden they're going, whoa, I get it now. Okay. All right, who's next? Do you want to go next? You're in the front row.
Great job. It's not recording. Yeah, I turned off the recording.
I just have this weird little thing is I will do the 48-hour film project and I will have my face on a 40-foot screen, but I do not like being recorded in meetings and things that will end up on social media. I just don't. So, no recording. Thank you. Breakfast. I was not sure if I could remember what I had for breakfast this morning because it was a day. But I did finally remember that I had the rest of the sausage patty, and I had that. And then I put the kettle on to make the instant oatmeal. And the way my stove is I can never tell which burner is which burner. And so I have the two back burners taped off so I don't accidentally turn them on and burn anything down. So I have to move things around as I put on the kettle to make the instant oatmeal. And while the instant oatmeal was doing its instanting, I went downstairs, I hauled my laundry downstairs and put it in 3 loads of wash in the laundry. Came back up, powered up some other things, called the mechanic, is my car done yet? And I had my breakfast. Thank you, I'll be here all week.
Yes. What was your one goal?
To remember what I had for breakfast.
Success. What would you work on next time?
I don't know. I do notice that just because of the circumstances of my life, I'm feeling really disconnected. Just like I'm feeling like a part of me wants to cry because I miss being a human being. And so, there's a distance.
Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Do you have a meditation or grounding practice?
I have picked it back up again.
Okay.
But I used to, but I've picked it back up again.
Okay.
So.
You are playful, and that was apparent. And if I may
Sure.
I add something?
Sure.
The next step,
That's why I'm here.
especially with job interviews, is grounding. So that's why I asked for grounding practice. So that disconnect that you're feeling, you're feeling as well.
I was absolutely not grounded in the interview that I had on Wednesday.
So your goal, my dear, own your breath.
Yes.
Come back to your exhale. Hard exhale right now. Yeah. Yeah, when we exhale for longer than we inhale, we calm ourselves down. If we inhale longer than our exhale, we ramp ourselves up. So if you're feeling disconnected, if you're in a situation, if you're like me and you've got a lot of energy, I have so much energy, I love what I do, I have the same problem. I leave my body, coming back to the earth, coming back to breath. So own your breath. I want you to write that down in a sticky note, and I want you to see it every single day. I also want you to put your feet on the earth every day. Once a day, feet on the earth.
I have been, for the last month or so, 2 months, 3 months, I don't know, I've been taking a walk in the morning around my, well, not, it's my neighborhood. I don't have, there's like no grass to walk on, but I have comfortable shoes that, you know.
Barefoot on the earth once a day. The electricity from the earth needs to come into our feet. That's how the earth also knows what to give us. Every time I forget this, my bank account drops because the earth doesn't know what to give me. So every time I start grounding and put my feet on the earth, all of a sudden things start rolling in. I swear.
That'll be a challenge.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great job.
You'll notice that when you start to own your breath, you will own your life. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, I have this really awesome review from one of my clients, and it's been the thing that's changed everything for her as an attorney. Own your breath, own your life. And that's one of my keynote titles, is own your breath, own the room. All right, who's next?
Could you say again what the thing is that you wanted me to write down, because I don't remember?
Own your breath.
Own my breath.
Own, yeah.
Okay.
Look in the mirror, say it. Own your breath. Own your breath. At first, people are going to be like, why are you exhaling so hard? And then you won't care because they're all freaking out and you're calm. All right, a lot of you raise your hand. Okay, come on up. 1, and then 2, and then 3.
Sorry, I'm just so excited.
I love it. Be excited.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abi. Just a little bit backstory. I'm a college student. So typical college student breakfast is no breakfast. I didn't eat until about 2 p.m. today. But when I did eat, my beautiful roommate Srijan was sitting at the table watching me cook. I had a pork chop and 3 eggs, definitely under-seasoned, definitely undercooked, but I mean, we make it work. And then I also had a green onion pie. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's a little bit of assortment of everything. It's kind of just whatever I have in the pantry is kind of what I'll eat. So yeah, I mean, it was an incredible breakfast. It was hard to concentrate because I was trying not to fall in love with Srijan sitting on the counter. But yeah, definitely running out of things to say, as you can tell. Probably should have prolonged it a little bit, but thank you all for listening and thank you for coming.
If you're done with your story, right? You own the room. This is your moment. You are owning this whole place, so you get to decide. I'm done now. Now, if you're in school and your presentation takes 10 minutes, can't help you there. Sure. Yeah. Well, what was your goal?
My goal was to not say I say or like I think a lot, or the word like. I just used it 4 times in the past 2 sentences, but I just wanted to avoid pauses and, you know, kind of like, I think you mentioned earlier, like statements that just filler words and stuff.
I noticed at the beginning you used a few times and you actually stopped. I didn't catch many towards the end. So what was it that I said earlier about how to reduce your filler words? Breathe.
Earth. Breathe.
Breathe. Breathe. Earth, yes, as well. Breathe. Breathe. Take up that space with your breath, not with your voice. Also, in the pauses, in music, when we have rests, it is so the audience can contemplate what was just said or just sung. It's the same as speaking. Don't be afraid of your pauses. Own the pauses. And breathe during those pauses. So next time you feel those likes, just start to go, okay, I'll breathe through it. Great job otherwise. You're very funny. Yeah, that was great. I'm sure stand-up is in your presence.
Thank you. I'll think about it.
I'll think about it. Oh, great. Okay, great. Come on up. The next thing I would say is you do have a strong water voice. So be aware. Strong water voice. You both do. So play with those different dynamics. Get weird in your apartment.
Is there like ending higher on the end of the last word?
That's so I do bring. So if you do check out my Own Your Voice audio course, or follow my content on LinkedIn or in my email list, I break this stuff down all the time. What various melodies in your what various melodies in your voice does. So if you do go up at the end of your sentences over and over again, it does sound like a question. But if you go down at the end of your sentences, we lose the energy of what you're saying. So learning to have a little bit of both. Learning to have, so we call this the up, down, up. So there's a wave form for that. So if you guys are roommates, highly recommend getting weird in your apartment with your speaking voice. Highly recommend going, hello this morning, I'm here, where are you? Da, 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 da. It will make you a better speaker. It will make you a more engaging speaker, and then when you start to speak normally, you will emanate charisma. Yeah, I'm feeling about to walk out, but yeah, do your thing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, your turn.
Beep, 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 beep. After another restless night, where I've got thousands of things churning my head. Didn't really get a good night of sleep, but the alarm finally goes off, and I gotta face the day. I sludge out of bed. I shouldn't be checking my phone, but the first thing I do is I check my inbox, I check my LinkedIn messages, and I'm already overwhelmed with all the shit I gotta reply to. And it's one thing after another. This meeting got moved, this conversation, I don't even have a moment to myself. I'm literally running back from the coffee shop, getting ready to change an investor deck so that I can go to some other investor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And my partner comes by, and she just silently hands me an avocado smoothie. And for that split moment, I enjoyed it so thoroughly, and it's the only thing I've had till now. Thank you.
So good. Great storytelling. Great storytelling. What was your goal for that?
Storytelling.
Storytelling. Really awesome storytelling. He put us into an environment, showed us your emotions, which is a really strong part of storytelling. When we do storytelling workshops, we break down what do you see, what do you hear, what do you taste, what do you touch, what do you smell. You did a really great job at all of that. The next step for you would be to, and you did this at the end, actually, you did this really well at the end, whisper, bring your voice into that storytelling. I wake up and elongate your vowels. I hate the sound of my alarm, or whatever it is that you said. Bringing more of that musicality into it. Do you want to try that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Take up space. Be as weird as possible.
I hate the sound of the alarm that just rings and rings and rings.
Great. Cool. Exactly. Keep playing with that. Because that's just the next step. That's just the next step, is putting us into it. Having characters, character development. There's this stand-up comedian, Elsa Schlesinger. She's hysterical, and her thing is she gets into her character. So she's like this hot blonde with a six-pack, and she like puts on this Gollum voice and body, and I think that's what makes her so powerful and such a great person to watch. So I think, you're already great at storytelling, so take that next step and have some characters.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, really great. This is an engaging group.
You guys have to understand, usually this class is me like getting an introvert to like shake it out a little bit. It's usually, so you guys are all coming in with a great foundation. Who wanted to go next? Were you next? Yes.
I'll go after you.
Perfect. Love the initiative.
All right, good morning, good evening. My name is Sebastian. So for breakfast today, I had a smoothie. I'm really not a breakfast person. When I found out there's this thing is called intermittent fasting, I'm like, oh, that's me. Like, I don't need to have breakfast, which is contrary to like what my mom used to tell me, which is like, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but like, that's bullshit because I don't feel hungry in the morning, so I'm not gonna have breakfast. So I'll just have a smoothie when I need food and I feel hungry. So today in the morning, my routine is, do my coffee, wake up, like do some work, and then when I'm hungry, I eat, usually at about 11. And my husband has the same exact breakfast that I do, which is a smoothie with a bunch of frozen fruits. So the routine is go to the freezer, see if there's any fruits, and if there's no fruits, then that means that person has to go get fruits. So it's like, oh shit. But luckily today, I had the frozen fruits, so I was able to get my fruits, and I didn't have to make sure I didn't have to get any fruits in the supermarket. Thank you.
What was your goal?
My goal is to get a laugh.
Okay. Okay, that's a hard goal because you can't control the audience. What can you control?
Presence.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, cool. So what are the things that make presence based off of what you learned today?
Your voice, like what element you're trying to use, like your body language.
Cool.
Yeah.
For you, and if you want to get a laugh, is master your pauses.
Mm-hmm.
Because the laugh lines happen with pause.
With the cause?
Pause.
Pause.
With
Oh.
pause. Master your pauses. If you want to land a joke, then land a joke. But if we're constantly talking through it, then we have no time to process and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So master your pauses. That's the next step. You were going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
I can't stop.
Yeah. So what's the answer? How do we pause?
Breathe.
There we go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great. Though, would you like to try for another 10 seconds or so?
Sure,
Go for it?
sure.
Yep. I want you to breathe in the middle of a sentence at least once.
So the breakfast routine is, okay, I'm hungry. I go to the freezer, see if there's any frozen fruits. If there's no fruits, I gotta run to the supermarket. It's my turn. It's like making the bed in the morning. Who gets out of the bed first? Like the last person to be out of bed makes a bed. It's usually not me.
Okay, great. That was a lot better. That was a lot better. You started to speed up towards the end,
Yeah.
but it also, that pausing gave you time to think about what you're going to say
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
It gave you a minute to go, oh, this is where I'm going to go with it. Oh, and this is going to be funnier anyway.
Yeah.
It gave me time to think about what you were saying, to laugh at it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a lot better. Thank you for taking that note. Is your voice typically this raspy?
Yes.
Do you sing?
No.
I invite you to start singing. Just sing.
Sing?
Every day. 21-day singing challenge. Pick a song, sing it every day. Every day.
I do love to sing. Like I love karaoke. Like
Yep,
the
great.
performance, but the singing is not my
Sing
part.
every day. Follow my stuff, and you'll learn how to sing. Sing every day. You might have a little bit. So what happens is our vocal cords slap together, and air travels through them, and that's how they make sound. And then the air carries the sound. If we speak on one tone for too long, over and over and over again, we can develop blisters.
Mhm.
Just kind of sounds like you have that. The way to heal it is to sing. That's the way. The answer to everything.
But that's a fun task.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd say if I break it down that way, because I'm sure somebody else who has the same issue. Great job, though. Great job. And great. It's one thing to start off strong, which you did. It's another thing to be able to take feedback and change it and do something with it. And you did. So great job. Yay!
Hey guys, how are we doing? Actually, so you were in musical theater, right?
Yes.
You were? Okay. Because I've been taking acting classes, and the way they tell us is at the beginning you're supposed to like relax a whole lot, because if you're tense, then like you're not going to give your best performance. And like if you're, I know this is a story about breakfast, but I got to tell you this. Basically, if you don't relax, you'll show on camera, right? So if you're acting, if you're training, you got to relax into your body. So I remember he taught us a bunch of like just relaxing exercises. So one of them included breath work. So it totally makes sense. Okay, yeah, breakfast. So I'm not a morning person at all. So what I did was I went to bed last night. I was reading a book, and then I went to bed at like midnight. And then I woke up today at like 8:30, which is like reasonable for me. I went for a morning walk, and then I went straight to Starbucks to get my chai latte. Now, Starbucks is like a 5-minute drive from my home. So by the time I get back, it's like 9 o'clock a.m. So I have a meeting, so I'm in meetings up until like 10:30 a.m. So if I could have breakfast earlier, I would, but I usually just have to have breakfast at like 10:30, 11 a.m. So today I had what did I have today? Oh, what I usually have in the morning, which is like an avocado toast with over medium eggs on top. So yeah, that's my story of my breakfast. Exciting, very exciting.
That's my story. Good fun. Thank you. What was your goal?
I think I was trying to work on my my breathing a little bit. I think I did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this, like, speaking in public. I'm in sales, but all of my sales are remote, so I'm used to speaking over Zoom, but not in person. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this is hard. Like, in a room like this, everyone can see you, you can look into their eyes, like this was hard. Like to me it's easier in front of 1,000 people than in front of 10 people. That's not everyone feels that way. What would be your next step for yourself?
I think I always panic about not having stuff to say after.
Yeah.
So I feel like right now, even as I was telling the story, I'm like, oh my God, I got to think about the next thing I have to say. So maybe work on that. Just like relax a little bit. Like don't worry about the next step. Or should we worry about the next step? I don't know.
It's not, well, worry doesn't do anybody any good. But how do we come up with, it's funny, I teach this class and I have my advisors are like, stop giving everything away for free. Save things for people to pay for later. And screw it. Like, I have no idea if you're ever going to see me again. So here's my trick for coming up, being able to tell a story and pull more out of my mind at any point in time. Visualize the film. Visualize the film. If we just focus on the words, where are they coming from? You got to download them from Kabbalah 4 Worlds. This is where it gets spiritual, right? Get spiritual. We've already started that. We download the information, and then it comes through us through our communication method, which is the voice.
Right.
So when we're telling this story, picture the story as a film in our mind. And you can practice this with guided meditations or remote viewing. So if you're stuck on the next story, just ask yourself, what's the next photo? What's the next film that I'm telling? Even if it's not related, what's the first thing that pops up? Just start describing.
Okay.
Yeah? They give you a little bit more.
Yeah, when you think about the ending, that you know where you're going to end, so you don't panic about like telling the story. Is that what you're saying? Is that basically what you're saying?
If we know the ending, then we tend to skip things in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But if we're following the movie the whole way through,
all right,
and picturing what happened, so try it. Try telling us a story, keeping it 10-15 seconds, and picture the movie in your head and speak from the picture.
Okay, yeah. So today after I woke up, I went for a bit of a walk outside. I like walking when it's sunny outside. And then I knew I had to go back up, put my shoes on, and then go to Starbucks to get my daily coffee. So that was the next part of the story. The next part of the story is I have to go back home because I had a meeting. So by the time I got back to, home, I already had my coffee, so I was already set, and then, I had a meeting that I had to attend for like an hour. It was like this mandatory training.
I'm gonna pause you. Good job. I like what you're saying about the sun. When you started to use ums, it was because you didn't take any pauses and you spoke right through them.
I felt out of breath.
So you didn't give yourself time to think of the next picture.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to do it one more time. This time you're going to, just at the beginning of the story, and you're going to use your very earth and water. So you're going to use fire and air.
You want me to use fire and
I want
air?
to use fire and air. Yep.
So every time I wake up in the morning, I am not a morning person, for real, right? So when I wake up, it's already 9 a.m. Half my day is gone, basically. And then, you have to, take it slow in the morning, because I cannot have a hectic morning. It literally it makes the entire rest of my day worse if I have a bad morning, which is why. I take it slow. You gotta take it slow in the morning. Don't be rushing. Well, what's the rush about?
Give her a round of applause. How'd that feel?
Good.
Yeah.
Natural, yeah.
That was great. I was doing a weekly class like this for a while, and that was a lot of the work. Is we bring something in and we yell different animals out at you or different things. That was great. Notice how dynamic it is.
You actually can do that, and it's not that extreme. I woke up this morning and I was so excited to be alive, but this thing happened. And I lost my whole day. We do that all throughout the day. We do that already in our speaking. So why is it that we get up here and then we speak in this mono melody for a long period of time? All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Who's next? Here you go, my dear. Enjoy. Hi, guys. My name's Lydia,
and I'm new to Texas. I just moved here from Salt Lake City, Utah, which is at elevation. It's about 4,000 feet, depending on where you are in town. And this, I think, Austin is a few hundred feet, maybe. And speaking of elevation, the Incas lived, I think, maybe 10,000 feet. And when the Spanish conquistadors came, they conquered the Incas, and there's a little rumor, a little story that they couldn't get pregnant. The women who came along with them could not conceive children at that elevation because where they came from, there's something different with their DNA. And related, I can't eat what I used to eat in Salt Lake. I used to eat eggs every day for 16 years straight. And so today I had chocolate milk and coffee for breakfast. Thank you. Thanks.
That's cool. Wait, come here. What was your goal?
To control my shaking.
Okay, is that what you're getting in your pocket?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, how'd that go controlling your shaking?
That's okay.
It was okay.
Great.
What other tools could we have for controlling shaking?
Breathing. Like, I want you to feel your feet grounding into it. Do you do any kind of meditation?
So it's the same. When you really stop shaking, imagine that roots are coming from the bottom of your feet and planting in the earth. Mother Earth has got you. Mother Earth has you. You are always held by Mother Earth. So when the shaking begins, inhale, send the energy down. That's the next thing you do. Nothing else. You're great. That was a good story. I actually want to learn more. But for these purposes, that's a great practice to bring in every day. Okay? Cool. Yeah, absolutely. I still get stage fright. It's not stage fright. It's more just perfectionism. I'm hard on myself. Great job. That was a cool story too. Also, I love Salt Lake. Welcome to Austin. Welcome to Austin. I'm curious about the eggs situation though. Yeah. I mean, when I came to Austin, I became a carnivore. So everything kind of switched. Oh, vegan?
No.
Yep. You rolled your eyes. All right, who's next? 3 more.
Have you ever thought about how our decisions are killing us? Today I get up a little bit late and I decided to go to Panera to get my breakfast. I was thinking about like just having a coffee and some kind of yogurt. And usually I order at kiosk. So I parked my car, I get out of it, I came inside of Panera, and I was like heading towards the kiosk to make an order, and I saw her. I saw a pretty nice girl who was standing on the counter, and I decided, well, maybe it's time to try and make an order like with a real person. And I was starting to make an order, and she was asking all this, like, upsetting questions. Maybe do you want to have like a syrup or fillings or some breakfast combo sandwich? And I feel some cravings, and I felt that like, yeah, maybe I should give it a try. And everything was so blurry. And at the next time, I found myself sitting at the table, having all this table filled with all these calories. Hundreds of calories, which could probably kill me. So I tried to think, how have I arrived to this place where I'm right now? And I start feeling inside myself, always use kiosk. Always use kiosk.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my redneck accent.
No, it's okay. This is great. Redneck accent. It's funny. Welcome to Texas. That's great. What do you do for a living?
I'm a management consultant.
Management consultant. Okay, great. Do you work with American business owners?
No.
No. You don't.
Only with well, I would love to, but now I'm working with European.
You're working with Europeans. Okay. You have a very low voice. You're a tall man. So in English, the English language kind of gets swallowed in your very low voice. So I'm going to have you try something. Bring the edges of your mouth together and take up more space vertically. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. The sound's going to travel further out of your mouth rather than getting stuck in your throat.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the own your voice audio course.
Yeah. Use even more of your mouth. The way to do this is how my TikTok blew up, was with this. You're going to get a marker.
I am a guy. I'm not like supposed to use mouth.
I would tell that to Barack Obama, because that man is arguably one of the best speakers of our lifetime. Whether you like him or not, he's an amazing speaker, and he uses the entire mouth.
Okay.
MLK uses his entire mouth. Yeah. So I'm curious where that story comes from. So you see what I mean? About like, there's stories of men and how they're supposed to sound, and women how they're supposed to sound. I'm a guy, I'm not supposed to open my mouth so much. Where'd that come from?
Originally?
Yeah.
Ukraine.
Okay. That sentence, that saying, men don't use their mouth that much.
In Ukraine?
I'm curious where that like tip came from.
That was a bad joke. I was trying to joke.
You were trying to make a euphemism joke. Okay, well that's fine. You can make whatever joke you want. But if you want to be a better speaker, then you're going to listen to what I'm going to say. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to take a marker and you're going to put it sideways, and you're going to talk around that marker.
Okay.
Yeah. You could or not. It's up to you. But if you do, you're going to learn how to use more. You're going to train your muscles to work more. Because right now it is getting swallowed, which is, it's fine if that's how, but if you're here to improve and I work with a lot of English as second language students.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth, not second, fourth.
It's your fourth language. That's amazing. That's more than most of us here. I know you guys speak at least 2 languages, but I've just worked this one a lot.
Yeah, thank you. So using more of my mouth.
Yes, you're going to use more of your mouth. Yes, awesome. Please take a seat. Thank you. Last 2.
Okay.
Awesome. You're going to be last but not least here.
So for me, for breakfast this morning, it was actually really interesting. I met somebody at a different event here at Capital Factory, and they're from Belgium. And I met him here at Capital Factory, and we walked down to the Blue Grocery or Blue Grocer, something like that. And they had sandwiches, and we bought sandwiches, and we ate outside. But I talked to this gentleman for like 3.5 hours. He was telling me about taxes in Belgium, which sounds boring now that I say it out loud, but it was actually really cool. And I guess I won't get into the taxes because I want to avoid politics, but very interesting stuff. Then he told me he's traveled around a lot. He's been to Thailand, all different parts of Asia, different parts of the U.S., and I have not traveled as much, and so I learned a lot from this guy. And anyway, again, we talked for 3.5 hours, and then that was my breakfast this morning. Thank you.
What is your goal? What's your name?
Tristan.
Hi, Tristan. What is your goal for yourself?
My goal has not been accomplished yet. I actually have never had any training on this stuff. I don't know anything about public speaking, and so I mainly wanted to know, was I talking too fast? And in my normal voice that I just use, what element is that? My goal is to learn those 2 things.
What element would you say that Tristan is currently, or elements? It's usually a combination of 2.
Earth and fire, maybe?
Okay.
Water.
I would say earth and water are your main 2. I think you have the capacity for fire. Fire would be, I would say earth and water. So the danger of earth and water is that you can get stuck in the same pattern for a long period of time. So bringing in some moments of air and lightness, or moments of fire and excitement. But generally you sound, because you're earth and water, you sound like you know what you're talking about, and you sound empathetic.
I am empathetic.
Yeah, both of those come across in your voice. Your voice holds the emotion of what you're experiencing. And then what was the second question?
Did I speak too quickly?
Remember that all this is relative. It's all relative. I wouldn't say it too quickly, but you can have, in general, more dynamics. So you want to have, and that will slow you down. Would you like to try again with a little bit more dynamics? You can say no too.
What do you mean by dynamics? Like fire and
Yeah.
air?
Okay, so I use fire and water, these 5 elements, just because it's fast and you can get results and understand what I'm talking about really quickly, right? Versus like, if I'm getting into the actual science and more technical aspects of your voice, we're going to say, air is your head voice. And this voice is because it's resonating in your head. These frequencies are resonating throughout your skull. Versus earth is your chest voice, and it's resonating throughout your sternum and your hips. So these are the different frequencies are resonating in different parts of your body. So I could say head voice, chest voice, but the elements are
very simple.
Yeah, simple, exactly.
Yeah, I understood exactly what you meant.
Okay, cool, that's great.
So, like, part of the thing is, like somebody else said, like, I was kind of just going with the flow and, like, saying things like as they come. So, whenever it comes to, like, being more dynamic and using, like, air and fire, is it really just about tonality, or is it also about, like, the subject matter?
For this tonality. For this tonality.
Got it.
Yeah, that's why I make the subject matter about breakfast, so that we can see how the delivery doesn't change. Like, the delivery is its own thing, separate from the words and the stories. Yeah, that's why the framework has everything separately. Like, we focus on breath, I do specific breath work with clients, then we focus on mindset, and do mindset work and meditating and focusing on what are the thoughts keeping you from being your most confident self. And then we move towards the words that you speak out loud, how they play out in the world, et cetera, et cetera. Voice.
Got it.
Yeah, cool. I mean, great job. Would you like to try something? Or I'm going to yell out the different tones of you?
We could try.
Yeah, you will succeed. Just have fun.
This part makes me a little nervous, actually, but yes, have fun with it. Okay.
Next thing that I didn't talk about today
is microphone placement. If we hold it down here, then it doesn't pick up the sound. It needs to be pointed at our mouth at all times. So if I turn this way, the microphone goes with me. If I turn that way, the microphone goes with me.
Got it. So my arm stays pegged just like this, so I can do whatever I want.
Yep, exactly. All right, so I'm going to have you start with those two, and then we'll
Do I talk about breakfast again?
Yeah, sure.
What am I starting out with? Sorry?
Whatever you want.
So this morning, I met a Belgian friend who I met earlier, like in the week, when we hung out together.
Water.
He was super cool, and now I sound like I've been drinking a lot.
Fire.
You know, I'm fucking sorry for cussing. I'm crazy. That's what people with fire talk like. They sound manic a little bit, and I can do that sometimes, even though I'm not actually a very manic person. Maybe I'm too manic. Maybe I need to cut the fire down, and this is act like I have ADHD. This is actually the way I normally talk about things.
Metal.
I actually don't know how to do the metal voice the way you did it before. I sound like Fran Drescher.
Yeah, you sound like Fran Drescher.
I do. Is this how you do metal?
Yep, keep going. Play more. Go bigger. I sound like Fran Drescher.
I sound like Fran Drescher. She did a TV show. She was really funny, and now she's old, actually. It was from like the 50s or something. And that's how I do my Fran.
Round of applause. Great job. How'd that feel? Cool. If we had more time and this was a different kind of workshop, we would keep going with that because you actually picked up on speed. You used fire by just getting faster and more frantic, which is your interpretation of fire, and totally okay.
It is my incorrect assumption of fire?
It's not about being correct or incorrect. It's that I'm guiding you to have more options. And if speed is the only option, it's very limited.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you more options to play with. How's that plan?
Very well, actually. That makes sense.
Perfect. So just like I told those guys, my new friend over here, sing. Singing will make you a better speaker 100% of the time. Tony Robbins sings. Every big voice coach out there, every big voice coach says, the voice coach to Anthony Robbins, because he's been losing his voice for years. And so they're all working with him to help him keep it through some
What if you're not a good singer? Should you just avoid doing that?
How do you get better at anything?
Oh, you can start doing it.
How do you start singing? Like, do you sing a song that you want to sing? Or
Start singing?
Or you just
Yes,
talk
I
and
also.
sing? You like talk and sing and like the house?
So yes, you can sing a song that you want to sing, and then if you email me. So I do a free consultations and free charisma assessments where we'll break down your voice, which you guys have all kind of done on today's call. But if you email me and say free vocal warm-up, I have so many freebies that I give away depending on the audience, because I do teach people to sing for singing's sake, and then teach people, singing for speaking's sake, et cetera, writing keynotes, pitches. One of the exercises I have is a vocal warm-up that I can give you for free. So if you want that, let me know, and you just follow it and do it in your car. The audio course that I showed earlier, it's all to be done in your car, because that's where I practice. I have improved my voice by singing in my car. It's where I learn all of my material. I write songs in the car. I thought about doing an audio podcast, and I went, wait a second, let's just make an audio course that people can do in 10 minutes in their car and improve a more authoritative speaking voice. So, just so you know, that's what that's about. All right, my dear, your last one. Last one picked. I'm not the last now. There you go.
So, like most, I don't really have breakfast. I just drink coffee, and but my mom is over, and so she is a foodie, and so am I. So I'm just trying to discipline myself. And so she asked me if I wanted breakfast, and I was like, no, Mom, I don't want to have any breakfast. Thank you very much. And lo and behold, during one of my meetings, she brought a platter of breakfast. And so it was actually a very nice platter. It had blueberries and strawberries and a little peanut butter and jelly finger sandwich and one of those little crackers with cheese and turkey. And I loved it, but I had it around like noon. So it was kind of like a breakfast lunch kind of thing. So that's it.
Yay! How'd that go? Good, I guess. How would you describe what was your
stage fright was mine. The anticipation and of course being last.
Being last is hard. You did that to yourself though. You could have jumped up at any point. Really interesting. You're the first air voice today.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I need to practice.
Yeah.
So I really felt it when Victoria said that she was going through the same thing, because I am really out there right now.
Yeah. I mean, culturally, we're all out there. This is like a major shift in like the world through the lens of the United States at the moment. So I think it's okay, cut yourself some slack. That's what my chiropractor said to every person on the table right before I came here. She was like, guys, cut yourself some slack. There's some shit going on. So, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Totally okay.
So I definitely need to root myself.
Yeah.
But I've tried to do different dynamics.
Okay. You want to find a little bit of your earth voice? Have you had a kid yet?
Yes.
You have had a kid. So you know what it's like to give birth. Great. So you know what it's like to have a primal voice.
Yes.
Yes. That's your earth voice. That's your earth voice.
It's been quite a while.
How can you tap into that part of you? Yeah? I am earth. Are you open to doing that?
Yeah, I can try to do that.
Ready?
Yeah.
I am earth.
I am earth.
Okay, so that was I am earth.
Really? It's still airy?
I am earth.
I am earth.
There you go. I am earth. We're going to bring it down half a step. I am earth.
I am earth.
Cool. I am earth. Sing that.
I am earth.
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 I am earth. Right there.
I am earth.
Yeah, there you go. So subtle. We went down 3 half steps. It was really subtle. I'm not saying you have to like drop an octave. Your vocal cords aren't built for that. How tall are you? Yeah, exactly. Right? Like I'm 5'10", and I have years and years of training, so that's why. And so because your height is going to call towards a lighter voice, right? So 1/2 of the step might make a huge difference for you in authority. Okay. Yeah. So the way to practice that is to sing it. I am earth.
I am Earth. I am Earth. I am Earth.
I am Earth.
I am Earth.
Great job. Yeah. That's it. So practice that. Practice playing with various pitches, and just see what happens.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right, my friends, that is everyone. That is all I have for you today. This is the public speaking playful practice. It's way more playful on the first floor, I swear. I also tried something new today, which was use slideshows. If you would like to learn more about my group trainings, my leadership workshops, or even one-on-one coaching, you are welcome to send me an email, sammy@voiceexperts.com, and I give away a free 15-minute call. I also just love to stay in touch with my students and be a community member as well. Right now, I am doing, I don't know if any of you are managers in this world, but working with sales teams to book sales, do sales kickoffs for next year. Right now is the time when a lot of people are booking their sales retreats, their associate retreats. So if you have sales retreats for your company or even workshops, I know you said you're in sales, connect me to your manager, and then they get to pay for you to work with me for a longer period of time. And in addition, if you do refer anybody to me, I'll either give you a free session or a referral bonus, which is just something that I do with everybody to pass the joy along. This is my life's work in the making. So you see me here now, but who knows where this is going. I've been putting this together for quite some time. So thank you all for being here. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity to teach you all and see you grow just a little bit. If you have any questions, I'll be here for the next 5-10 minutes. And I have these parking tickets, and then we need to be out of here by 8:30. We need to be out the door. So thanks so much.
If you parked in the garage, these bring the price down to $8 rather than $3.50 for 15 minutes. So. It matters. What do you mean?
Technology, so you make it turn your phone into your jam buddy.
I don't know about any meetup, but my
very early stage.
Yeah. This is
Pretty early.
So
But we have an MVP.
I will tell stories or do some sort of intro. That's a little different every time, and then I work with people one-on-one. The magic is in how who shows up, because you learn something different by watching.
Thank you. Sorry, what was your question? That we're doing a lot of beta testing.
How is that different? How did it go?
Feedback that we're
It was more
processing, frankly, and filtering, figuring out like what features we're going to double down on.
Yes. So I wasn't expecting that.
Okay. You weren't expecting to learn something.
Exactly. I was not expecting to learn anything. Which is fine. You don't want to be so and this is actually a wonderful thing.
I think everyone wishes they were someone who's
At the very end, you're like, and this way, so over there.
You know, you're hilarious.
Thank you.
What's your name? Tristan Augusto. Nice to meet you.
Lydia. Well, I love that. So you're from Beatles.
This is nice. I'm glad. It's hard driving it.
Yeah, it's Augusto. I'll find myself.
But I will try to be here in December.
Well, I'm not. I just got word today that it needs to be online because they have an event that week. So we'll hopefully start out with yeah, it'll be online. We'll probably do on-camera charisma, but I'm also in LA, so
Thank you, Tristan. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
But right now it's still, but I'll change that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you for playing. Yeah, please do. And if you wouldn't mind, and I'll send you this, I forgot to say this too, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving me a LinkedIn recommendation, it's like, it matters. These things matter. Building a brand.
Wait, do you have a TikTok? What is it TikTok?
The voice expert.
Oh, that's a good question. That's fine.
Yes, the voice
You're
expert.
like, I can't believe you said never done charisma before. Is that what it is?
I'll probably teach on-camera charisma at
like something from you, but I don't know that. And is that
I'm
like,
gonna start hosting more of my own classes.
like
I've done it where I've hosted
I don't want to do
classes.
that. I want to
I get overwhelmed by all the things it takes to run it back into the business.
Yeah.
If I'm like, I'm looking for somebody to join me on some of it, but like, I'm the one sending all the sales emails, all the marketing emails, all the classes, following up, doing invoicing, you know. So, it kind of limits the classes I host. So it gets exhausting.
Oh, the voice expert. So are you famous?
No.
You should be famous.
I will be one day.
I feel like I see it. I'm gonna follow you.
That's why I was like, that's why I'm like looking at shifting my messaging a little bit to star power. That's what everybody's like. Everybody wants to be a star. Like that's something I'm.
You were off Broadway basically, so what play were you?
It was called All Aboard. It was a shit-tastic show, but I killed it. It was a.
This is the next year. I'll see you later.
Yep, that's it.
What's that one? Everybody.
Never shut the board.
I saw that one off Broadway.
That's good. That's really good.
Oh my goodness.
But
So let's see y'all.
I have two questions for you.
What's up?
One of them is actually very excellent. You don't have to be able to sing well in tonality.
Yeah.
The second one is when you're talking about like the red car effect.
Yeah.
And are you familiar with Carl Jung?
Yes.
Very much so. What do you think of
lo cierto.
that's insane. It's the way it works. What is he acknowledged? That's crazy. Dude, but Mike is exactly that, and he has stupid points, though. No, yeah, I'm not, yeah, no, never mind. I don't want to talk about this. Whatever, okay. Maybe you chose me for this one. I'm not. I'm just like. I have, but you have made it clear that it's been one thing. What does that mean? Well, I know that. I know you told me things. You just have never really wanted to tell me more, to be honest. And I respect you enough not to try or like to huh? I'm not saying that though. I'm just saying it's insane that yeah, okay. for sure that